Hello students, good evening all. So welcome back to our next session of chapter sequences and series. So far we have started with the introduction part to our sequences and series, and along with that we have even started discussing about arithmetic progression, right? So before starting our today's session, so we'll just have a quick look over the topics that we have covered in our session 1 and what and all topics that we are going to cover in our today's session in detail. So let's have a look over the topics. So as I mentioned in our previous session itself, we have started this arithmetic progression. So we just started with the definition of it and the basic representation of this arithmetic progression. So coming to our today's session, we are going to discuss the series of AP. And I know that we are already discussed about what is this series. So now we have to look over the series of AP, that is our arithmetic progression here, right? And after that we are getting into arithmetic mean. So I know that you guys are familiar with this word mean and average. So let's just have a look over this arithmetic mean. And apart from the arithmetic mean, here there will be a new concept that will be learning under this arithmetic mean in our today's session. So once we are done with arithmetic mean, we are just getting into our next concept, that is geometric progression here, right? So we have already started with the arithmetic progression, and then we have we are going to study this series of AP and then the arithmetic mean. So these are the basic topics in our progression, like series as well as the mean part of it. So in our today's session, after this arithmetic mean, we are going to start the next topic, that is geometric mean here. So as I mentioned, even in this geometric progression here, we will be having the series. So after this introduction to our geometric progression, so like how we have discussed for the arithmetic, the basic definition of it, the representation, right? We are getting into the series of GP here, right? So these are the concepts which we have discussed in our previous session, the arithmetic progression and the basic introduction to our sequences as well as series. So coming to today's session of sequences and series, we are going to start with this series of AP, right? And followed by arithmetic mean, geometric progression and the series of GP here. So let's just start our today's session. So first, as I mentioned, we are going to start with this arithmetic progression part of it. So we'll just quickly have a look over this arithmetic progression. So we know that the general term. So typically, if for any arithmetic progression, the standard terms will be in the form of A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on. So this is the typical sequence of any arithmetic progression, right? So where A is the first term, that means T1 here will be equal to A, and D is the common difference of this progression or of this sequence here, right? And what about the nth term? So we know this is our first term, that is A, and this is our second term, that is A plus D, and this will be our third term. Then what will be the nth term? So this is the rule here. So if you remember, while discussing with the concept of sequences, we have determined the rule as well as the formula. So that will be applicable now. So here A plus D, and the next will be plus D, and the next will be again plus D, which means it will be following a pattern here from where we can determine the formula for this nth term of the arithmetic progression, which is also called to be the general term as well as the last term. So let's represent the general term here, that is Tn, which is equal to A plus n minus 1 D. So this will be our general term as well as the last term of the arithmetic progression here. So let's do a question related to our arithmetic progression here. So the first, we have already done 2-3 questions in this particular concept in our previous session. So let's do one more question related to our arithmetic progression. So let's just read that. The second, 31st and the last term of an AP are given as 7, 3/4. So it's a mixed fraction here. Half as well as minus 6, 1/2 respectively. Find the first term as well as the number of terms. So here in the given, what are the information which is given here? Second term is given as well as 31st term is given and last term is given. Right, so these are the 3 terms which are given in the question, and now we have to find. So we have to find the first term, that is A, as well as the number of terms, that is N. So here these are the 2 things which we have to find using the given information, that is second, 31st as well as the last term. So you can solve this by applying our general term concept that we have discussed right now. So can you guys apply the general term concept and try and find out this first term of this arithmetic progression as well as the number of terms of this arithmetic progression. So if you have any doubts while solving this part, you can just let me know in the comment section. So first let me write the nth term here. So Tn will be equal to A plus n minus 1 D. So this is our general term or nth term, or we can say it's a last term. So by applying this concept, we can determine and write our second term, 31st term as well as the last term in order to determine the first term of the arithmetic progression as well as the number of terms in that progression. So this is second term, that means T2 is given, as well as 31st term, that means T31 is given, and we are not familiar with the last term because n is not given, that we have to find out. So you can write the second term as well as the 31st term here from the given information. So if you guys are done with solving it, you can let me know the answer. And if you have any questions, you can let me know in the comment section. So here for the first here they have given second term. So let's apply our general term concept here. So A here is unknown. So let it be. And what is the n value here? That is 2 according to the second term. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. And D is again unknown here. So T2, that is second term, will be equal to A plus D, which is given by 7, 3 by 4, which is a mixed fraction here. 28 plus 3, 31. So this will be equal to 31 by 4. That means from here we can have a first equation in terms of A and D, that is A plus D is given by 31 by 4. So similarly, we can apply this 31st term in order to determine the second equation in terms of A and D. So again A plus, so here n value is 31. So 31 minus 1 will be 30. So 30D is equal to, so 31st term is given to be half. So 1 by 2. So the second equation in terms of A and D is given by A plus 30D is equal to half. So now we can eliminate A here. And then D minus 30D is equal to 31 by 4 minus half. Right, so here it will be D minus 30D, it will be minus 29D, which is equal to, again LCM will be 4, 31 minus 2. Right, so now it will be equal to minus 29D is equal to 29 by 4. So this will get cancelled and D here will be equal to minus 1 by 4. So now by using these two equations in terms of A and D, we have determined the common difference D, which is equal to 1 by 4. So now as we have determined the D value, that is common difference, so can you guys find the A value, that is the first term, as well as the number of terms in this arithmetic progression? So if you require more time, you can please let me know so that I'll just give you a few more minutes in order to solve the question. So it's just that we have applied the general term concept and we have used the given information, that is second term and 31st term of the progression is given. From where we have determined the common difference is equal to minus 1 by 4. So if you remember, when we have common difference less than 0, what it actually indicates? So it states that the given progression is a decreasing progression. So now can you guys determine the first term of the progression as well as the number of terms quickly? So we have already had the equations, that is A plus D is equal to 31 by 4 as well as A plus 30D is equal to 1 by 2. So these are the two equations which we got. So we already determined the common difference. So let's it's that you just have to substitute the common difference amongst any of this equation in order to determine the A value, which is the first term of the given arithmetic progression. So please let me know the answer, guys. Dori. So let's just substitute the determined D value in the first equation. So A here will be equal to 31 by 4 minus D. So A here will be equal to 31 by 4. So minus of minus, which will become 1 by 4. That means 32 by 4. It will be 8. Right. So the first term here, that is A value, we determined that will be equal to 8. So according to the question, we have to find the first term, which is a. We have already found out that is equal to 8. Along with that, we have to even determine the number of terms. So for that, we have to use the last information which is given, that is the last term. So last term here, that is Tn, will be equal to a plus n minus 1 d is equal to given by minus 6 1 by 2. Right, that means a here we already found out a value. So 8 plus n is unknown. So n minus 1 into d is already given. So is already there, minus of 1 by 4 is equal to, so it's a mixed fraction, 12 plus 1, 13 by 2. So now here in this particular equation, the only unknown which we have to determine is n. So let's just simplify this equation and find the n value, which is the number of terms which are present in this given arithmetic progression. So simplify this equation and let me know the n value here. So far no one has given any answer. So if you guys require more time, so please let me know. So let's take the LCM here. So it will be 4. So 32 minus n plus 1 divided by 4 is equal to minus 13 by 2. So this will getting cancelled. So if we cross multiply the terms here, 32 minus n plus 1 is equal to minus 13 into 2. That is 26 minus 26. So let's bring the n to the other side. So 32 plus 1 plus 26 is equal to n. That means 959 is equal to 1. So the number of terms in this particular given arithmetic progression is equal to 59, as well as the first term is equal to 8 and the common difference d is equal to minus 1 by 4. So these are the terms involved in this arithmetic progression. So I hope you guys got the thing here. So if you have any doubts, you can please raise your questions in the comment section. So let's move on to the next one. So now let's start with our series. So in the introduction itself, we have discussed what actually a series meant to be. Right, so series is nothing but sum of all the terms which are present in the sequence. Right, so now as we are dealing with the arithmetic progression, so the terms which are, it's nothing but the series of an AP, which is the sum of all the terms which are present in the given arithmetic progression. So first let's write the standard terms which are present in the arithmetic progression. So the sequence will be A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on. So these are the terms which are involved in the arithmetic progression. So now as we are dealing with the series of an AP, so series is nothing but simply the sum of all these terms involved in this arithmetic progression, which means here you can see A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on, and whatever the last term, that is A plus n minus 1 into D. So this will be my series of an AP, right? So my series here will be all the terms a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on until a plus n minus 1 into d. So here we can take the a common. So indirectly this is denoted by Sn, that is n by 2 a plus n minus 1 into d plus a. Right, so we can determine this formula to be n by 2 into first term plus last term, because a is the first term as well as a plus n minus 1 into d is the last term. Or we can represent this in another format, that is Sn will be equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So you can use any of the formula. So both will be the same thing. So in some questions directly they'll be mentioning that the first term and the last terms of the sequence is given. Then in that particular time you can apply this format. If not, they'll be giving in terms of common difference. If it's with respect to common difference, then we have to go by this formula, right? So in overall, our sum of terms, that is series of an AP, is represented by Sn, which is given by n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d when the common difference is given. If not, Sn will be equal to n by 2 into a plus l, that is first term plus last term here. So these are the two formulas we can apply in order to determine the series of an AP, that is the sum of the all terms which are present in the arithmetic progression here. Right. So let's do a question related to this series of an AP here. So here comes the question. So find the sum of the first 19 terms of an AP when A4 plus A8 plus A12 plus A16 is equal to 224. So the given only condition. So here we have to find S19. That is sum of the first 19 terms of an AP. But here the only given condition in order to find the sum of the first 19 terms here is A4 plus A8 plus A12 plus A16 is equal to 224. So how can you use this condition in order to determine the sum of first 19 terms of an AP here? So just have a look over this question. Take your time, 2 to 3 minutes. So in order to determine this S19, that is sum of first 19 terms, what is the required condition? Like what are the terms we'll be requiring here? So our sum of 19 terms formula is nothing. Okay. Sum of n terms formula is nothing but n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So n is already given because we have to find 19, S19. So n is given. So the only thing which we required here is a value as well as d value. So try and figure out using this condition. We have to determine this a and d values, or else at least the relation between them. So as we have to find 19, so this is given by 19 by 2, 2a plus, so 19 minus 1, 18, so 18d. So this is the term which we have to find the value of it. So let's expand this, try to expand this given condition. So try and write in terms of a and d for this 4th term, 8th term, 12th term as well as the 16th term of the given AP. So if you require more time to solve this question, please let me know in the comment section. So here this is fourth term. So in our AP, how we can represent this fourth term in terms of A and D? So A plus 3D. Similarly, eighth term, that is A plus 7D. Similarly, A12, that is A plus 11D. And then 16th term, that is A plus 15D. So this sum total will be equal to 224. So now it will be 4A plus, let's just do the sum of all these D terms here. So 7 plus 3, it will be 10, 25, 36D here will be equal to 224. Right, so here you can see this will be entirely getting cancelled. So let's just cancel this in 4 tables. So 490 will be equal to 56. So now we had a relation from the given condition, that is A plus 9D is equal to 56. But here we have to get the value of 2A plus 18D. That means this condition must be multiplied with 2. Then it will be 2A plus 9 2s are 18D will be equal to 112. That is 56 into 2. Right. So we just found out the value of 2A plus 18D. So that's all we required in order to find this sum of first 19 terms. So now S19 will be here equal to 19 by 2 into 112, which is nothing but again here it will get cancelled 56. So S19 here will be equal to 19 into 56. So this total multiplication here will be equal to 1064. That means the sum of the first 19 terms of this given AP is equal to 1064. Right, so here there is no particular value we required here, like separately A and D value, because we are having only one condition. So we cannot find two unknowns with the help of one condition. Right, so that's why we have found out the relation between these two, and with that condition we have found out the value of this 2A plus 18D in order to find this sum of the first 19 terms of an AP. Right, so if you have any doubts in this question, particular one, you can let me know. If not, we can move on to the next one. So far no questions. So let's move on to the next question. So this question is also related to the series. So let's have a look over this question and try to answer this. So take 2 to 3 minutes and give it a try. So read the question carefully, because here they are talking about two arithmetic progression, not a single one. So here it's not the direct question to find out the sum of terms and all, but instead of that you have to find out the ratio of the 11th terms of these two different arithmetic progressions. So let's read out the question. The sum of n terms of two arithmetic progressions is in the ratio of 7n plus 1 divided by 4n plus 27. So here they have given two arithmetic progression which are, so the sum of these two arithmetic progressions, so the sum of all these n terms of these two different arithmetic progressions are in the ratio of 7n plus 1 divided by 4n plus 27. But here the question is to find the ratio of the 11th terms. Right, so first just use the given condition and try to determine a relation here, and then we can go and find the ratio up by using that condition, determined condition. So in general, sum of n terms formula to be given by n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d. So the only change here for the two different progressions will be the first term will be different as well as the common difference. So n will be the same, but the first term as well as the common difference will be different from each of the two arithmetic progressions. So quickly give it a try. So far no questions. So I hope you guys are getting the concept clearly. So if you have any question, you can please let me know. You can text me there. So let's try and figure out this. First, let's just write the ratio here. So let me write the first arithmetic progression. So as n will be the same, so it will be n by 2. So for first, I am just considering my first term to be a1 and my common difference to be d1. So as it's a ratio, so this will be my second progression. So it will be 2a2 plus n minus 1 d2. So this ratio will be equal to 7n plus 1 divided by 4n plus 27. Alright, so now what can we take common and get cancelled? So this n by 2 will be automatically getting cancelled. And in order to eliminate this 2, I can take 2 common and I can get cancelled. I can make it cancel. So now it will be a1 plus n minus 1 by 2 d1 and a2 plus n minus 1 by 2 d2. So this total will be equal to ratio 7n plus 1 by 4n plus 27. But here, what ratio we required here? So the required ratio is nothing but 11th terms. That means a1 plus 10 d1 and divided by a2 plus 10 d2. So this is my required ratio here. Right. So if we compare this required thing to our derived condition, so a1 is same plus something into d1. And here in the denominator a2 is same plus something into d2. So this something is common. That means n minus 1 by 2 is common in the both numerator as well as the denominator. And here also it's the same thing. And this n minus 1 by 2 here is equal to 10. So from this condition, we can easily determine the n value. Right. That means n minus 1 equal to 20 and n here will be equal to 21. That means when n equal to 21, here in this condition, we'll be having the ratio of the two 11th terms. That means A1 plus 10 D1 divided by A2 plus 10 D2 will be equal to 7 into 21 plus 1 divided by 4 into 21 plus 27, as here the n value should be equal to 21. So now the value of this 7 into 21 will be equal to 147 plus 1, it will be 148, and then 4 into 21, so it will be 4 plus 80, 81, so 84. 84 plus 27 will be 111. So now the required answer here, that is the ratio of these two, the ratio of the 11th terms of these two different arithmetic progressions is given by 148 divided by 111. So this will be the ratio here. So the only trick here is we have to identify this, and that should be equated to our required one in order to get the n value, and that will be giving our direct ratio of this two different, the ratio of the 11th terms of these two different arithmetic progressions. Right, so I hope you guys got this one. So if you have any doubts in this, you can let me know, guys. If not, we can move on with our next one. If you guys have any doubts, any questions in this particular question, please let me know. Okay, so as there are no questions, so let's move on to the next concept here. So the next one which we are going to discuss as part of our arithmetic progression is splitting the number into parts such that they are in AP. Right, so here this is splitting of a number. Right, so you can have any number and that must be split into some parts. So it can be one part, two parts, three parts. Right, so and that parts should be in terms of arithmetic progression. Right, for suppose if I am having a number 50 for suppose, this must be divided into three parts such that they should be in AP. Then how we'll be considering those three numbers? So those three parts such that they are in AP. So in general, our standard AP will be A plus D, A plus 2D, and so on. But as here we are talking about three terms, so there will not be any other condition given here. So in this particular case of splitting the number, right, so if it's into three parts, then the standard progression which we have to take for this arithmetic progression will be A minus D, A, and A plus D. So these will be the three terms. Right, so if we are splitting into three terms, right, so if for suppose we are going to splitting the number into five parts, right, then it should be odd terms. That means A minus 3D, A minus D, and then middle part A, and then as it's a minus, the plus will be coming ahead. So it will be A plus D, A plus 3D. Right, so why we are actually considering them in such a way that they can have the both plus and minus? Because when we do this, it will help us to give the numbers very easily. So that you will be understanding when we do a question. So let's do a question related to this splitting of the number into parts such that they are in the arithmetic progression. So let's do the first one. Split 69 into three parts such that they are in AP. So here 69 is the number and this must be split into three parts such that they are in AP. So now as here it's a three parts. So as I mentioned, what will be our progression? That means A minus D, A as well as A plus D. So as 69 is divided into these three parts, so sum of these three should be equal to, so sum of these three numbers must be equal to 69. So that will be giving our first condition. That means A minus D plus A plus D will be equal to 69. So now here minus D and plus D will be getting cancelled and 3A will be equal to 69, which implies A will be equal to 23. So this is the reason why we will be taking the order of this parts in such a way that they'll get cancelled the common difference. So if it's a 5 terms, so we'll be taking minus 3d minus d a as well as plus d and plus 3d. So as here we are talking about 3 parts, so it will be in the format of a minus d, a as well as a plus d in order to get the first term very easily. Right. So now let's see the second condition. So using the first condition, we have determined the first term here, that is A. So let's do the second condition. Let's read out the second condition. And the product of the two smaller parts is 483. So what are the two smaller parts here? So it's obvious that A minus D and A will be the smaller parts here. That means A minus D, that is 23 minus D into A, that is 23. This product will be equal to 483. So this condition will be used to determine the common difference here. That will be the D. Right. So 23 into 23. So let's just let's just calculate the value here. 23 minus 23D here. So 529 minus 23D here will be equal to 483. So now 23D will be equal to 529 minus 483, that is 46. So D here will be equal to 46 by 23. Right, that means it will be twice. So here the common difference is equal to 2. So now in order to find the three parts of this number 69, we'll be requiring only the A as well as D value. So from the conditions, we have determined both the A as well as D. So now the three parts are nothing but, so A minus D, that means 23 minus 2, that is 21, and then 23, and then 25. So these are the three parts, such that three parts into where the 69 has been splitted, such that these will be in AP. So this 21, 23 and 25 will be, they are in actually AP, and this sum total will be equal to 69. So the three parts here are 21, 23 and 25. So now you guys have got an idea why we are actually taking this format of this progression in order to find this splitting parts of any given number here. Right. So let's do one more question. So as I have explained you here the entire concept, so now you can give it a try in this particular question. So you can give it a try here. So try and take the path such that you could able to eliminate the common difference when we do the sum of the terms here. So that means sum of the paths here in order to find the first term of the progression. So here it should be 4 parts. So quickly write down the 4 parts in progression. So again one more condition is also given. So product of extremes and product of means here. Extremes means the last two terms and means the middle terms. So let's read the question. So divide 32 into 4 parts such that they are in AP, such that the ratio of the product of extremes to the product of means is 7:15. So first let's go by the first condition, that is divide 32 into 4 parts. So just now we have seen for 3 parts it will be A minus D, A and A plus D. And we have even discussed for 5 parts, that is A minus 3D, A minus D, and there will be A here. But now here, as we are dividing the given number into 4 parts alone, then there is no need to take this A. So it will be directly A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, and then A plus 3D. So these will be the 4 parts such that the number 32 will be divided in order to be the terms in the AP. Right. So now as we have the 4 parts, so quickly try and determine the A value in order to find the condition here. So we have taken the terms, the 4 parts in AP. So now the question is you have to apply the condition and determine the A here. That is the first term here. Quickly guys, if anyone has done solving it, you can let me know the A value here. I'll just give you 2-3 minutes here to work it on. So amongst these four terms, this will be the lowest, and then next and followed by A plus D and followed by A plus 3D. So this is here an increasing AP. We can directly state that. So what will be the first condition here? So as we know here, the number which is given is 32, and here we are trying to divide this 32 into 4 different parts here. Right, that means the sum of all these 4 parts will be obviously equal to 32. So from where we can get the first condition? So let's first do the sum of all these 4 parts and equate that to 32. So A minus 3D plus A minus D plus A plus D plus A plus 3D. So sum of the 4 parts here. So this must be equal to the number 32. So now minus D and plus D will get cancelled, and minus 3 as well as plus 3D will be getting cancelled, and here we will be remaining with only the A. So A plus A plus A plus A, that means 4A here will be equal to 32 and A here will be equal to 8. So the first unknown value we have already determined, which is equal to 8 here. So now the other unknown here is D, which we have to determine using the second condition which is mentioned here. That is the ratio of the product of extremes to the product of means. So the two extremes here are nothing but A minus 3D as well as A plus 3D. Right. So product of these two extremes to the product of these two means, that means A minus D and A plus D. So these two ratios will be equal to 7:15. So apply the second condition and try to determine the D value here. Let me check if anyone has already given the answer. So just quickly apply this condition, guys, ratio condition, in order to determine the common difference D here. Because already the A value has been found out, which is equal to 8. So now if we could able to determine the D value, then we could easily find the 4 parts here, which are given by A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, as well as A plus 3D here. So let me erase this and we'll do the second condition here. We'll apply the second condition. So the terms will be A minus 3D, A minus D, the 4 parts here, A plus D, as well as A plus 3D. So these are the 4 parts here. So we have already determined the A value, which is equal to 8. Right? So far these are the things which we have already done. So let's apply the second condition, that is product of extremes. That means A minus 3D into A plus 3D. So product of extremes to product of means, that means A minus D into A plus D. So these two ratio will be equal to 7 by 15. Right. So let's see. So here they are in the format of A minus B and into A plus B. That means A square minus B square. So A square minus 9D square here. Same thing in the denominator, A minus D into A plus D, which means A square minus B square. So here it will be A square minus D square. So this here will be equal to 7 by 15. Right. So now we are having A square minus 9D square divided by A square minus D square. Right. So let's just do the simplification here and substitute the A value here. Only we require D. So now it will be 64 minus 9D square, and here 64 minus D square will be equal to 7 by 15. So now we have to do the cross multiplication. So 64 into 15, that means 960 minus 15 into 9, that means 135 D square. And the other side here 64 into 7, which is 448 minus 7 D square. So let's rearrange the terms here. So 960 minus 448 to one side, and 135 D square minus 7 D square to the other side. So now 960 minus 448 is given by 512, and then 135 minus 7 is 128 D square. So now we have a condition for D square, which is given to be 512 is equal to 128 D square. So from where D square will be equal to 512 divided by 128. So let's just cancel. That is given by 4. Now D square is equal to 4. That means D will be equal to plus or minus 2. But here you have to identify that. So this is not a decreasing. So it will be obviously an increasing. So from here directly D value will be 2. So A will be 8. So 8 minus. So first will be 2. So 8 minus 2 will be. So 8 minus 6 here. And then 8 minus 2 here. And then 8 plus 2 here. And then 8 plus 6. So these are the 4 parts. So 8 minus 6 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6, and then 8 plus 2 is 10. 8 plus 6 is 14. So these are the 4 parts where the number 32 has been divided, such that these 4 parts are in AP here, right? So how we have applied? So the only thing here is, once we could take these terms of an AP in a perfect order, then it will be easy to determine the A value. And once we could able to find the A value, then by applying the second condition, right, so we can easily able to determine the common difference. So now for this question, the paths for this 32 are 2, 6, 10 as well as 14. So these are the 4 parts, and these 4 parts are nothing but they are in AP. Right. So in our today's session, we have discussed about the series of an AP, the nth term or the general term of an AP, as well as the splitting of a given number such that they are in AP. Right. So before getting into the means, so these are the concepts which we have covered. So I hope we'll just wind up our session with this today. And in our next session, directly we'll be starting with our arithmetic mean part. So if you have any doubts and any questions from our today's session and from the previous session also, you can let me know in the comment section. So feel free to ask me the questions. So that's all for today. So we'll just continue the rest. So most probably we'll be starting with the arithmetic mean in our next session. So that's all for today, guys. We'll just continue the rest in our next session of sequences and series.